Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Vista 2020, 20th International Business Summit of IIM Bangalore. The theme for Vista 2020 is Portraits of Progress. Vista aims to stimulate conversation towards the ever-changing environments and disruptions across different fields and how leaders can strategize and synergize efforts to remain pioneers in their respective fields. It is important to remember that in this constant challenge to move ahead, we should not lose sight of our true purpose. So, are the businesses of today ready for the obstacles that come tomorrow? Will they be able to keep pace with the changing technology? Are they ready for the unknown challenges abound? While we have come so far, the inevitable question is, what next? What is it today that tells how tomorrow might look? The essence of progress is to be a continuum. The question that still remains is how? At Vista 2020, we are trying to find the answers for these questions from the brightest minds as we continue our journey into glory and be a part of the 2 days filled with grandeur, knowledge, and euphoria. Now let me jump to the Young Leaders Summit, YLS. Every nation pins its hope on the current generation, the collection of young and bright citizens who will go on to become the leaders of tomorrow. In this 7th edition, the Young Leaders Summit at Vista offers a dive into the business world right from the comfort of your homes. It is a well-curated program for the undergraduate students to learn and grow by interacting with the best of global corporate executives and accomplished luminaries. YLS is an excellent forum that provides you a sneak peek into the corporate world, its challenges, and lets you experience management tools and techniques. You also get a chance to interact and learn from IIM Bangalore's renowned faculties, participate in workshops, and attend speaker sessions from industry stalwarts. This forum also gives you a glimpse into the life of an MBA graduate and will help you make an informed career decision in your future. Because in this virtual world, the interactions with your peers and the outside world has drastically reduced, and we are trying to bridge that gap. So I kindly request everyone to make the most of this summit and wish you all a happy learning. With that, I call Akash Kesarwal to explain in detail what's in store for you for the next 1 week. And I also welcome Professor Shankar Subramoney, one of our favorite faculties at IIM Bangalore, for the inaugural session of YLS at Vista 2020. Thank you. Over to you, Kesar.
Thank you, Sasi. So welcome everyone. So welcome to Young Leaders Summit. So as you might have heard me saying multiple times, Young Leaders Summit is basically a collection of excellent sessions that we have curated just for the undergraduate students. So as part of that, you get to have 3 exclusive workshops that are only exclusive to Young Leaders Summit. 2 of them are conducted by our renowned faculty. One is Professor Shankar and the second one is Professor Godwani. The third is the case study workshop that will be going to happen over this week. And then we have a business simulation game. Apart from that, we have a lot of speaker sessions and the work and the competitions. So let's move on to the opening session, the faculty address by Professor S. Shankar. So first, a few words about Professor Shankar. Professor Shankar is a management consultant in the functional areas of marketing, commercial, legal, supply chain, and international business. He's an adjunct faculty at the IIM Bangalore, a visiting faculty at IIM Shillong, IIM Udaipur, IIM Visakhapatnam, and IIM Ahmedabad. And he teaches subjects such as related to commercial law, international trade, and management consulting. He has an industry-wide work experience of 25 years and worked with many firms such as Shaw Wallace, Hindustan Unilever, Ecolab, and A1 Faculty Management Services. We, as students of PGP, gets to learn from Professor Shankar a subject called General Commercial Knowledge, where we learn about the basic business law and what actually to know while doing business. Now, Professor Shankar, as you know, is an adjunct faculty, so he takes on around 150 students, and his course is highly fought for. Over to Professor Shankar, who will take this workshop now. Professor. I think it's on. The room is on mute.
You're good.
Yeah.
All right. Very, very good evening to all of you all. And welcome to Vista 2020. It's an absolute pleasure for me to be here this evening and to interact with, so many of you all who would like to know, what happens in a B school like this, and also to have a flair of what you guys need to know in business. So, the title is also apt, Introduction to Business 101, right? Okay. So what I did was that I prepared a small presentation for you guys, okay? And, normally I would always like to have these sessions interactive, but the crowd seems to be overwhelming for me to even look at an interaction, right? We've crossed more than 250, right? So therefore, what I would request is that if I have some questions for you guys, don't speak, just put it on the chat, right? So I'll just see the answers very, very quickly. Right? This just to give me an idea of, how you people are thinking, right? Of course, you will also have a question and answer session, right? You will be given some time so you can ask me some questions and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay. I'm going to keep the session light. At the same time, I want to develop on concepts so that at the end of the day, you have got good concepts to take them forward and learn. So with that in mind, just remember to absorb the concept, okay? Now, well, let me give an introduction to business. Let me take you guys back about 70 years, okay? We're going to go to a time, 1939. 1939 is when World War II started. And when World War II started, right, you need to know the reason why World War II started. So let's look at the map of the world in World War II. So this was World War II map, right? Way back in 1945. There are approximately about 106 countries. And this industrial revolution was on. So people started making a lot of products, factories started opening up, and those who were really industrious were the ones who actually prospered. Now, in 1939, and much before that, after World War I, Germany became a powerhouse of manufacturing. Even today, world over, the quality of manufacturing is German technology. So what used to happen was this. What is the most important thing that was needed way back at that time? The most important thing that was needed way back at that time was steel. Because steel was the primary ingredient in the Industrial Revolution. And there was a company called Krupp. Okay? This guy Krupp, he started the first steel industry and way back in 1700s. And then the steel technology that he evolved was one of the finest steels. And today, one of the best steels that are used is called Krupp steel. This is what is used in all shaving blades, so on and so forth. Now, Germany had this factory to make steel, and everybody wanted steel. But the problem was that it was not that they had the factory, but they didn't have the raw material. So what did they do? They had the neighboring country, which is Poland. They had the neighboring country, right, which is France, Belgium. What happened? These guys had the raw material. So what Germany did was, Germany said, listen, Poland, you do one thing. Why don't you give me the raw material for steel? I'll make steel and I'll give it to you. Poland said, no, I'm not going to give it to you. The moment you ask somebody decently, please give something, and the fellow does not give, what do? You give him two and take it. And that's precisely what Germany did. Germany gave two and started taking raw material. Now, always remember one thing. You've seen fights happen. When two guys are fighting, there'll be another 4 or 5 guys will join in. And they'll say, what's happening? And then there'll suddenly be one big gang fight will happen. Everybody will team in and they start taking sides. One will go this side, one will go that side. That's precisely what happened. France joined in, Germany, Britain joined in, that fellow joined in, this Italy, joined the Axis, this fellow joined the Allied forces. Big fight. At the end of the whole thing, after 6 years of fighting, finally Germany lost the game. Fine. But what is the most important lesson that the world learned? The world learned that why did we all start fighting in the first place? We all started fighting in the first place because we wanted goods. Now, if suppose we were to create a world wherein I would share the goods freely without a problem, then where would there be any fights? So therefore, in 1945, what the world decided was that all the countries signed on to an agreement called the General Agreement in Tariff and Trade. It was called the GATT. They signed the GATT, and what was the understanding of this agreement? The understanding of this agreement was that we will not wage war, but we will ourselves start sharing materials, like the goods and services that we are having, with other countries. So goods was a primary thing. So it went on. And then what happened was that it were merely agreements. Since they were merely agreements, right, nobody was prepared to accept that agreement. How do I enforce something? Suppose you say no, will I start a war again? But people had vowed that they will never start a war again, because another world war would have finished the earth. So what happened? They said that we need somebody who's going to have a lot of teeth, who's going to sit and enforce it. So they took about 45 years to figure out how to do it. And then way back in 1986, right? 86, they said we will start something called as the World Trade Organization. So by 1995, they said we'll have a World Trade Organization. So simultaneously at that point in time, right, there was something called as globalization. What happened? Basically, globalization basically meant that I'm going to freely move goods and services across the world. There aren't going to be any restrictions. So that's what happened. So moving to later part of the year, world today, we started with approximately about 106 countries in 1945, with a population of about 2.3 billion. In 1990, okay, we had approximately about 160 countries. In about 40 years, we put in so many countries. And by 2022, and by 2020, right, as of now, official statistics on countries, according to the United Nations, there are about 195 countries. Between 1990 and today, nearly about 26 countries were born. No? Okay, one second. Just let me see whether this works. Is the audibility better now? Is audibility better? Or there's an echo?
So it's better. It's okay.
It's better? Okay, fine. Now, so in 1990, we had about 160 countries. We added, because of globalization and the fact that WTO was coming in, we added about 160 odd countries, right? Russia broke up into so many countries. And by 2020, we had nearly official statistics, right? According to the UN, it's about 195 countries, 93, right? The Vatican and Palestine has also been added. Okay? According to the Indian Olympic Association, there are about 214 in odd countries. And there's something called as world country. Now this world country guy is plotting all the countries in the world. He's got something like approximately about 247 countries. Now, just imagine, India needs to do business with nearly, let's say, we'll go with International Olympic statistics of countries, 214 countries. We need to do business with so many people. How do we now understand business? What is it that we need to know about business? Okay. So I'm going to explain to you Business 101 with the help of a game called cricket. Okay. Now, all of us, right, at least in India, right, all of us love the game of cricket. There are so many lovers of cricket, right? And especially when you, right now the IPL is happening, but unfortunately, you don't have too many people watching it. But the previous years in the IPL, how would it actually go, right? You would see something like this. You would have so many guys cheering. And this is precisely the way business is. There's so many guys who are literally vibing. But there is always one fellow, right, who will stand out in the crowd, right? And he'll be really that guy. So this is this guy, one guy, and the whole crowd will figure out only one fellow. And that's precisely what Business 101 is all about. Business 101 is all about that. In this maze of businesses and businesses, right, where are you standing now? Where is it that, we could spot you and say, hey, here it is. So I'm going to use cricket and explain to you, right, what a business is all about, right? Okay. So a business and the game of cricket. Now, all of you guys know cricket, okay? Now answer me, okay, on the chat. How many stumps are there in the game of cricket? 6, 3, okay, 3, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. 6. Seriously? Okay. Fine, thank you so much, guys. So, somebody said 8. Hello, excuse me. Where are we getting 8 from? Well, okay. All right, fine. So we'll go with, the number 6. Guys, seriously, you do not know cricket. 2. I like that answer. 2 and 3. How are 2 wickets? 4. Great answers coming in. Thank you, guys. Now, hold on. Okay, thanks for the answers. Those guys who said 6. No. Those guys who said 4, I have no idea what you're counting. 2, I have no idea what really are you talking about the batsmen. I was talking about the stumps. Okay, fine. All right. Achha, good question. Define stump. So my great friend Varun, right? Varun, I want you to come back on chat and answer me this. And for the rest of the class also. What is the objective of the game of cricket? Win, no. To win, no. That's not the objective. Entertainment, no. Score runs, no. Why? Score maximum to win, no. You guys are not, no. To find the potentiality. Why should I play cricket to find potentiality? Okay, somebody, defend the stumps. Somebody said defend the stumps. Okay, great. I'll hold on to that person. All right. Varun, you got your answers. Defend the stump. That person's right. Make money, state of mind, gentleman's game. Why? Women also play cricket. Generate revenue. You guys are all going berserk. The objective of the game of cricket is only one. Let's get that thing very clearly in our minds. There's one fellow who's got one ball and he's going to throw that ball, right? At something called as a stump. And you are supposed to defend the stump. You should ensure that the ball does not hit the stump. Okay. Now, that's the objective of the game. The objective of the game, right, is to defend the stump. When somebody throws the ball, if I'm able to hit the stump, then you're gone. Right? As long as I don't hit the stump, you're in. So that is primarily the objective of the game. The objective of the game is to defend the stump. So my good friend over there in the audience who said, defend the stump is an absolutely right answer. Now, the objective is to defend the stump. When I asked you how many stumps, at any given point in time, how many are you supposed to defend? Thank you so much. So 3. So therefore, the game of cricket has got only 3 stumps. You are counting 6 because the other side also there is another 3. No. Somebody who said 8 counted the batsman also. That's also wrong. Somebody who counted 2 forgot the stumps and only counted the batsmen. That's also wrong. Right? Okay? So, we've got 3 stumps and we are supposed to defend the stumps. That is the objective of the game. Example, what is the objective of the game of football? Vedant, we'll come to your answer. Thank you so much. To score a goal, not to defend a goal, to score a goal. So the objective of the game of football is to score a goal. What is the other side supposed to do? They're supposed to defend and ensure that the others don't score the goal. That is the objective. So therefore, the game of cricket and business is also the same thing. What is business? It is to achieve something in mind, and that is the objective. Now, what an achievement is a different story altogether. We've got 3 wickets in cricket. Your objective is to defend the wicket. If that is your objective, next question to you. Okay? Which is the most important wicket? What do you mean the last wicket? What is the first wicket? Thank you very much. There's somebody equally. Opening batsman, no. Off stump, no. Thank you very much. The right answer would actually be all of them, right? So there are 3 wickets. The objective is to defend these 3 wickets. And all the 3 wickets are very, very important because if one of them fall, you're out of the game. Now that you know the basics of the game of cricket, business also plays with 3 wickets. What are the 3 wickets that business plays with? The first wicket that the business plays with, okay, is what is called as taxation. It's called as taxes and duties. World over, every country will play with this wicket. So within our country, we've got something called as GST, which is playing now. Between countries, we will have something called as customs duties. So taxes and duties is the first wicket. Whenever you want to analyze business, whenever you want to talk about business, whenever you want to know about business, the first wicket you should know, right, is what is the taxation system in the country. I need to read about the taxation system. I need to understand about the taxation system. In international trade, we look at something called as customs duties. So customs duties, they're also called as tariffs. So all the countries in the world will look at various tariffs that they are going to impose for all the goods that are going to come inside the country. So business needs to look at what are the tariffs for various things that need to come inside the country, or what are the tariffs or the duties or the taxation in order to produce or sell those goods within the country. So the first thing is called as taxation. Then the next stump, right, is what is called, right, as the trade policy. What is the policy of the government? In India, we got something called as the central government, we got something called as the state government. So the central government gives out the overall big picture policy, while the state government gives out the individual state business policies. So you want to start business in Karnataka, you want to start business in Maharashtra, you want to start business in Tamil Nadu, and within the country, then you will look at what is the center's policy, and then you look at what is the state's policy. For example, right now, we've got the policy because of COVID, we got a policy saying that we need to improve our electronics manufacturing systems. So various state governments, what have they done? They immediately started offering concessions to businesses, saying, you please come and put your factory in my state, so on and so forth. So world over, what businesses do is that businesses learn about what is the policy of the government. Now, you want to know what is the policy of the government? Yes, you can Google that thing, and every country's policy is put up on the web. This is what is called as EXIM policy. It's called as the export-import policy. So if you Google the EXIM policy of any country, you will get it, and that will be the policy which the country needs to follow for a period of 5 years. For example, India's policy, okay? Because of COVID, we have not announced our policy yet. But shortly, hopefully by 2021 January, right, our Commerce Minister will announce the policy, which is supposed to be from 2020 to 2025. In the United States, we are waiting for the elections to get over, and the moment the elections are over, we will know the EXIM policy of the United States, which is from 2020 to 2025. Now, Brexit, Britain, right? They're supposed to sign off. The moment they sign off, right, then they will announce what is going to be their policy. Now, why is this important? This gives us an opportunity to understand what the country is going to do. Okay, the moment a business wants to do something. So you want to invest somewhere, you want to start some business. How do you go about starting that? Is what the policy is given to you. So this is the second most important thing that happens. Okay. Then you have the third wicket. And what is the third wicket? The third wicket, right, is what is called as money control. It is also called as forex control. Okay. It is also called as money management. So the country, through its central bank, will then decide how is the money that's supposed to be managed in the country. What is very, very critical for us? It is very critical for us to understand, right, how much of money, what's inflation rate that's happening within the country. A, okay. Two, how much of foreign exchange is available for us so that we can, look for imports, and how much of foreign exchange can be earned insofar as exports are concerned. Where can you, take your money and go? Can you get foreign exchange freely? So this is what is given to you in the third wicket. So every business will then look at what is going to be the money implication. So if it is international trade, then we'll be looking at foreign exchange earnings. If it is going to be local trade, then we are going to be looking at who can raise money, what kind of money can be raised, what kind of guarantees are you supposed to give, how are you going to give these guarantees, so on and so forth. You're going to have these three things. Please remember, whenever you are going to look at business, you look at these three steps. Now, the game is not over. The game just started. The idea of the game, it was done about 120 years ago, right? Was that I got three stumps and I need to defend the stump. If one of the stumps fall, you're out. Very good. They started playing the game. The moment these guys started playing the game, these guys put in the stump. But then the jokers in the game, what they did was they planted the stump so deep inside the earth that even if you had a very hurricane, the stump wouldn't fall. So even if the ball hit the stump didn't fall, so they're not out. So what did they do? They came up with a new thing and they called it as bails. Thank you so much. So in business also, we've got two bails, right? The first bail is what is called as a price bail. And the second bail is called as a cost bail. Now, very quick question. Let me see. Price. What is your understanding of the word price? No? Not value. No, not cost per profit. Depends upon, no. Selling price, no. I asked what is price. No. COGS, no. Okay. There's this guy who said, cost to be paid to availing a product, monetary value. Fine. Let's get the definition of price correctly. Not the value of the commodity, no. Price means what is the value a consumer is prepared to pay. The price of a product is nothing but what is the value that the consumer is prepared to pay. So the value for a particular product with one person can be different. The price of the same thing with another person can be different because what he is prepared to pay for that will be different. What another person is prepared to pay for that will be different. So price is a very, very critical thing in business. We need to ascertain what is the value that a consumer is prepared to pay. If the consumer is not prepared to pay a particular value, then we got our price wrong. So what are customers doing? What are businesses doing today? Businesses are trying to figure out what is the best price at which we can sell. Which means they are trying to figure out what is the best value that a consumer will pay for the product in order to get this product. That is price. Now, what is cost? Cost is all the expenses that are required to put this product in. expense all the expenses, all right? Okay. Now, price minus cost is not profit. Price minus cost is just margins. That's all. Okay. So what I need is that in order to be effective in business, I need to know what is my cost. So we do a lot of work on, related to understanding cost and playing with cost. We do a lot of work related to the price. So on the consumer side, we do a lot, that is on the supply chain side of, the demand side of the product, we do a lot of work, which is the price. And then on the input side, right, which is basically the raw material supply side of the supply chain, we look at a lot of issues on cost. So price and cost. So if one of these bales fall, they're gone. They're out of the game. Now, is it all the game all about? You're supposed to defend your stump. You're now supposed to defend the bale also. If the bale also falls, stumps is there, bales fall, they're gone. That is what I also thought. For many years, I was also thinking that, defend the stump and defend the bale. Then what happened? I was wanting to go and hit the ball, so there was one line that was drawn. I went outside the line, and then I hit the ball. I missed the ball, but then there was one fellow at the back called wicket keeper. That fellow took the corner of the ball and hit my stump and put the bale off. The umpire said out. I got damn irritated. I said, what nonsense is this game? You're not allowed. You told me to defend the stump. The next time he bowled. Next time when he bowled, I just stood right in front of the stump. I didn't move. When I didn't move, it hit my leg. The moment it hit my leg, everybody said out. The umpire gave out. What do you call this? Everybody said, leg before wicket. For me, LBW was, let the bugger wait. He is not taking my stump. Well, umpire said out. I got damn irritated. I said, what nonsense is this? Then I realized that the game has got something called as crease rules. So business has also got crease rules. And what are those crease rules? Right? The crease rules are the labor laws that are there in the country, the environmental laws that are there in the country, the various licenses that are there in the country, the FDI policy in the country. So every country will have crease rules. So now the game is on. You need to defend the 3 stumps, you need to defend the 2 bales, and you need to play with the crease rules. You play the game, you're game. Otherwise, you're gone. Now, if suppose I don't play according to this, then what can happen? I will go in straight for a duck out. Now, our intention to get into business is not going a duck out. What do we want? We basically want to play, right? And, have 100 not out century. Right? That's the whole idea. And how are you going to do that? You're going to do that with a bat. You need a right bat. And what's the kind of a right bat you want? The right bat that you want is knowledge. So what happens in a B school? In a B school, right? Well, we discuss all these terms, the bales and the rules. What are we giving you? We are giving you that bat with which you can play. And that bat with which you can play is called knowledge. Okay. Now, you might ask me, sir, what about the Chinese? The Chinese don't play cricket. Well, unfortunately, the Chinese eat the bat. So what can you do about it? Okay. Now, well, the Chinese also, they're learning, And worst part is that they don't like the 4 and all that. They don't respect boundaries also. So, that apart. Remember, you're playing the game of cricket to hit a not out, 100. According to you guys, who is the god of cricket? The god. Okay, here comes Sachin, Don Bradman, Sachin, Dhoni. Guys, you have no clue. You are actually talking to the god of cricket, me. I'll tell you why. Let's take, for example, Sachin is on the other side, I'm on this side. Sachin is batting, I'm on the runner's end. With whatever amount of power that Sachin has got, he still can't beat me. for a simple reason that Sachin will have a stroke. He will drive the ball towards long on and he will come running to my side. Suppose I say, I am not going to run, do what you want to do. What's going to happen? Sachin is going to be out. He doesn't have any power. What does that mean? It simply means that you could be fantastic in your knowledge of cricket, but it is also very important that the other fellow knows the game. If the other fellow does not know the game, you are out. So the same thing happens in business also. What's happening in business? You know taxation, you know the trade policy, you know the money control policy, your price is fantastic, cost is brilliant, you know absolutely the perfect rules. Well, if the other fellow, your buyer, does not know all this, then you're not in the game. So what is very, very critical in business, the most important thing in business is that both the players should know the game. And that is precisely what we do in B School. We not only give you the necessary inputs, but we also see how is it that you can share those inputs with somebody else who you want to do business with. And that is what makes the whole game more beautiful, because the other fellow also knows the game, you also know the game, and both of you know the game. This is when the spirit of the game is there and we really freak out. And that's why we have, we enjoy IPL a lot. The reason is because both the sides know how to play, except like what happened with CSK. Okay, not going into the game yet. Okay, now, cricket is a game that you need to remember. All right. Having said this, in order to do business, so business is going to be done in this fashion, so you need to do this. Right? There's somebody called the government. And when it comes to government, right, and business, the moment I say government and business, what automatically happens to you? You've been reading so many things about this, right? You're immediately in an absolute confused state of affairs. Now let's look and understand how do we do business 101 and the government. See, all of you guys are very, very young. I'm sure you must be dating somebody or the other. So for the boys, when you want to take a girl out, it's just not going to be so easy. There are a number of people who are going to come in and tell you what to do. The first and the foremost thing that you need to ensure that you pass is to look at the right girl. So the same thing happens in business also. You want to start a business, right? Then you need to go to the government. There's one person in the government. You need to go and meet him first. And who's that guy? That guy is what is called as the industries ministry. You need to get the industries ministry right. You go to the wrong industries ministry, just like going to the wrong girl. You're finished. Done. So what are industries ministries? Industries ministry will have so many fellows. You'll have the textiles ministry, you'll have the engineering ministry, the chemicals ministry, petrochemical, handicrafts, fisheries, right, electronics, so we've got nearly about 50 different types of industries ministries. So what will happen? You as a businessman will approach your ministry. So at the state government level and at the central government level, both these fellows are present. So you just pick up that and say, listen, I am going to say, I want to start, an engineering business. I'm a mechanical engineer. I want to set up a big factory to manufacture various kinds of automobile components. Great. So you will go to what is called the engineering industry, right? Under that, you got the automobile industry. So you will go over there and say, listen, I want to do this. So now that you've chosen the person, this is good. But then there is also, right, the second person who is going to come in and say, listen, you need their approval. You can't just pick up somebody. There is somebody called, as external approval. This external approval is basically all your friends and all of them. They will say, "Arey yaar, this girl is nice. No, this girl is not nice." Similarly, in India also the same thing happens. You want to do business with somebody else, you can't just go and say, I want to do business with Pakistan, I'll go and do business with Syria. No, no way. You can't do that. There's a fellow called External Affairs Ministry. This External Affairs Ministry, what he's going to do, he's going to turn around and say, hello, what kind of relationships can you have with people? So today in the world, what are we having? We are having FTAs, that is free trade agreements. So with every single country, our external affairs minister goes along with our commerce minister and then says that we can have this kind of an arrangement, we can have this kind of an arrangement. So there are very, very specific kinds of agreements that we sign. So the same thing goes around. Now, once this is done, right, then the most important flow, right, is something called as vitamin M. You want to take a girl out, it doesn't mean that, approvals are there. You need vitamin M also. So when it comes to vitamin M, there is one flow. You will have to go, right? So basically, whom are you going to talk with? You're going to talk with all these external ministers. There's something called the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance, right, has got 3 different people, okay? You should remember this. For example, you guys are at home. So obviously, you got your brothers and sisters, you got your dad, and you got your mom, right? Your mom is the final say in the whole thing, right? You can go and ask your dad, Dad, I want about $100. Your dad's going to say, yes or no. But then final appeal is with your mom. You can just go and tell your mom, I need to take this person who's just like you, out for a coffee. And then your mom will say, okay, damn good, take her out. Here's the money. He'll give you another $100. So there are 3 people similarly like this, even in the Ministry of Finance of the government. The first person is what is called the Department of Economic Affairs. Now, the Department of Economic Affairs, right, will decide, okay, what's going to be the foreign exchange policy of this country. Okay, so there is something called as the Foreign Exchange Management Act. So the Foreign Exchange Management Department of Economic Affairs will decide this. So this is part of the, part of the Reserve Bank. Then you will have somebody called as the Reserve Bank of India, which is somebody who's controlling the monetary system. Please remember, the Reserve Bank is another bank which is basically controlling. So you receive money, he gives out money, just like another bank. So he controls all the money which comes in and goes out. So you will have to go, if you want money, you will have to go to the Reserve Bank, which is your mom, basically. And the third fellow is somebody who collects all the haftas. So you got somebody called the Direct Taxation Department, you got somebody called the Indirect Taxation Department. So CBDT is a Central Board of Direct Taxes, and CBIC is a Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. So you got these 3 fellows playing the game. Then after that, right, is the final say. This fellow's approval, final approval, right? What the final approval is here. Somebody called it the Ministry of Commerce. What does the Ministry of Commerce do? The Ministry of Commerce has got 2 departments. The first department, right, is to look at how business promotion is done within the country. So there's somebody called as the DPIB, right? Department for Promotion of, Industry. Then you have somebody called as International Trade. So the Commerce Ministry will look at what is going to happen within the country. The Commerce Ministry is also going to look at how international trade is going to happen. So our Commerce Minister is going to be dabbling with 2 different areas. So these are the 4 important critical people who play the game. And you also need to play with these people. So once you have done this, then you are good. After this, I know the game of cricket. I know what are the 3 stumps, the 2 bails, and the crease rules. I know what business wants and what government wants. And I know how to do this. Then what else should you know in business? What is the fundamental philosophy of business? See, the fundamental philosophy of business is to manage risk, right? No, it is not a demand and supply. It is not that. It is not to make money, right? It is to look at risk. Thank you very much for using the word curtail risk. I'm using a different consistency. No, make profit. No, that is not the fundamental, philosophy of business. The fundamental philosophy of business is manage risk. See, a business, once it is established, is considered to be perpetual. Business is not going to die. The person who started the business may die, right? But business by itself is what is called as an ongoing concern. So it's an ongoing concern. It's going to be there. In which case, what should I do to ensure that I am, safe and sound? I need to manage risk. So in B schools, what do we teach you? We are basically teaching how to manage risk. Simple and straight. So what do I create? I create something called as risk perceptions. I create the risk and I look at what are the possible solutions to that risk. So effectively in a B school, okay, what are you taught? You are taught about various risks of the business and what are the possible solutions that you could have for that business. I mean, for those risks, right? This is what it is. Like for example, world over, what you're seeing in front of you, okay? You call it as a computer. World over, what you're seeing in front of you, call it as a computer. But the actual word for that is not a computer. It is called a data processing equipment. Say, for example, you go and talk to the Japanese. You tell the Japanese, I want a computer. That fellow is going to give you an abacus. Why is he going to give you an abacus? Because that's a computer. And that's the best computer. He can give you a warranty of 100 years. Nothing will happen to the abacus. Don't break, nothing will happen. Keep it. It's a computer. Computer. What's a computer? Computer that computes. Computation is addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. But what you're having in front of you, what all of us are going through is not a computer, but it's data processing. It's processing a lot of data. So people need to ask the right question. You go and ask a Japanese a computer, that one is going to give you an abacus. Right? For a partly price, you pay him a little more, he might give you a calculator. But suppose you ask the Indian for the same thing, what's the Indian going to do? The Indian is going to say, give me a computer, I don't have a problem. But you know what he's expecting? Just imagine a Japanese and an Indian talking. Right? The Indian says, I want a computer, the Japanese thinks, so you want a computer, the fellow sent you an abacus. What are you going to do with the big parcel that comes from Japan? Nothing. You can start a bonfire and start playing with that. So we got something called as misunderstanding. At least you might say that misunderstanding, sir, is terrible. Okay, Japanese, it can't happen. It is worse with the Chinese. You don't even know whom you said good morning to. All the fellows look the same. So what can you do? You are in for a deep trouble. You can't explain to whom do you explain something to? This is what happens in the game of business. Misunderstanding. Within the country also misunderstanding can happen. A huge amount of misunderstanding can happen. Now, how is that? So the first risk that we look at is misunderstanding. Now you do not know what the child is doing. Is his child sleeping? Is his child, thinking? Because many of us, you've all been sitting in class. When you close your eyes, the prof thinks, right? You're sleeping. But you can always tell the prof, no, I'm contemplating on what you're saying. There is deep meditation that is happening. So you got the risk of misunderstanding. So what happens when it happens in the risk of misunderstanding? Misunderstanding about what? Misunderstanding about the item, misunderstanding about the deliveries, misunderstanding about the taxes. Is the price all inclusive of taxes? The taxes extra, so on and so forth. So in class, what do? We look at the problem and then we give a solution. Let's look at another risk that you're going to have. As sellers, all of us have got this risk, right? What's going to happen? My money. What's going to happen with my money? Well, the money that is, when am I going to get the money? Where am I going to get the money? How are you going to pay the money? Right? I'm going to have one big problem and worry about my money. So when we teach you finance and finance related subjects, right? Look at payments and payment mechanisms and solve those risks. There's another problem that we can have, right? Delivery. You have no idea what can happen in delivery. There's huge risk. So it is going to be there's delayed delivery. So what can you do for delayed deliveries? How can I solve my problem with delayed deliveries? Can I ask for something? Will I get some compensation? Will I go and buy something somewhere else? Then there is also another problem, right? Of non-performance. I'm very sure that if you are looking at the pictorial, you will understand what is non-performance. What's going to happen in the case of non-performance? Right? A serious problem we are going to have in the case of non-performance. So what happens when product don't perform and somebody says, I'm going to do something and they don't perform, right? We have something called indemnities, we have something called warranties. So this is a risk perception that's built. Let us look at a few more risks, because each of the subjects that you learn in B school, right, relates to various possible solutions. So you got marketing risk, you look at marketing solutions. You got sales risk, you look at sales solutions. You got finance risk, you look at finance solutions. Right? Legal risks, you look at solutions that are given to you in legal. Let's say, for example, I got damages. Somebody is not doing something for me, loss or damage. Then you have something called as monetary claims. You learn something about insurance. Then you have something called as legality. Which law I am talking to some fellow. Right? Today the world is so diversified that an American is talking to an Indian to deploy, to get a product from South Korea, right, to be manufactured, to be put into a product, which is made by Japan and installed in Australia. You have no bloody clue which country you're talking about. Now what's going to happen? We're going to look at which jurisdiction, arbitration, applicable law, so on and so forth. So this whole subject they're talking about. Then we have something called as security. Today, we are all talking about internet security, so on and so forth. Then what happens to confidentiality? What are the payments? What are patents? What are copyrights? What are trademarks? So there's a whole lot of solutions. And more importantly, right, what happens to exchange risk corrections? So over here we have situations like foreign exchange, money, right? So when it comes to exchange rates, then you got something called hedging, you got options, you got derivatives, so on and so forth. So this is what you guys learn. So we've looked at in Business 101 3 different perspectives. The first perspective is, how do I look at business as a whole? The second level is, whom do I interact with? At the third level, okay, what is it that I need to do as a business? So, in whichever order you want, you can learn it in whichever order you want. You want to learn about what you have to do, then yes, you will look at risk perception, you will learn that. So in B school, we start preparing you for that. Then your work experience is going to take you, right, to handling various departments of the government, setting up the business, so on and so forth. And at a larger picture of strategy, going forward, what is the future, so on and so forth, you're going to be looking at the game. This gives you a fair idea, right, of what business actually means, right? And why is it great fun to be in a business school? Because you are going to be churning, right, information like crazy. Right? Now, to give you a flair, right, of exchanges, right, exchange rates, and so on and so forth. One of the primary objectives in B school, right, is to simplify how you learn about the intricacies of business. Right? How you learn about the intricacies of business. This is to simplify it so that the concept is understood. The moment the concept is understood, okay, then you're good to go. Then you can keep learning. So our intention in class and amongst all the professors is always to ensure that the student picks up the concept. And then he starts learning on his own, he starts picking up as much as he can. So let me see, okay, how I could probably, narrate to you concept. Exchange rates, all right? Foreign exchange. This is what many students from engineering will come in and specialize in finance, and they're going to have a ball of a time. Let's look and understand this concept, okay? I'm going to use the whiteboard. Of course, you can see the whiteboard on the screens, right? Okay. So, okay. I'm going to ask you some fundamental questions, right? Pardon my drawing. I'm basically explaining to you what's foreign exchange, right? And the risk of foreign exchange, how are you going to manage that? Let's look at an example. There's a farmer. Okay. He's got a big field, and his farmhouse. This is a farmer. The farmer. And this farmer, right? What he has got, he's got a couple of cows. Okay. Now don't tell me this does not look like a cow, just for an imagination, it's a cow. Then he's got a couple of sheep. The worry that this man has got is that, okay, and there's a big tree also here in the farm. So you got a farmer, he's got 2 cows and he's got 2 sheep, he's got a big tree. Now he's got a fear that this cow and the sheep may run away. If the cow and the sheep may run away, what is the best way that he can protect the fact that they should not run away? What can he do? What he can do is very, very simple. He can take one rope and tie the cow to the tree, this one to the tree. So effectively what has happened? He has ensured that he will not have a possible future loss. What did he ensure? He ensured that he will not have a possible future loss. And how did he do that? He tied the cows and the sheep to the tree. But suppose this fellow had 500 cows and 500 sheep. What is he going to do now? He can't take a rope and plant more trees and tie it around everybody. So what does he do? Thank you very much. So this man, what does he do? He builds one big fence. He puts a big fence. Now, the moment he puts a fence, these cows and sheep cannot escape. In business, this fence is what is called as a hedge. Or the hedge. Now, what do you do in business? In order to prevent a possible future loss, you will hedge. Hedge is a French term which basically means hedge grow. Hedge grow means to put up a fence. So you put up a fence. Now, so once you put up a fence, it automatically protects a possible future loss. Please remember this word, possible future loss. Now, how can you prevent a possible future loss? You can prevent a possible future loss by, in business, we enter into something called as a forward contract. So in finance, right, especially in the foreign exchange markets, what happens is, in the foreign exchange markets, businesses will enter into forward contracts. What will they do? They will say, what is going to be the price of the dollar 6 months from now? And let's say you're a business, you want, let's say $100,000, right, 6 months from today for a big import that is coming. Then you go to the bank and tell the bank, on 1st of January, I want $100,000, tell me what's going to be the price. So the bank will calculate based upon, the statistics that it has got, and it say, okay, fine, the dollar price is going to be about 62 rupees to a dollar. Then you will say, okay, book. So what you will do is that you will enter into a forward contract. Now, in the local man's language, in our language, right, we call this forward contract as advance booking. So what happens in your lives? You do advance booking. For example, you book an airline ticket, advance booking. Now, are you really afraid whether the price of aviation fuel will go up or the price of the airline ticket will go up? No, you're not worried. Why? Because irrespective of what happens, your seat is confirmed. You will not be asked any more money. For example, in a theater, you advance book. When you advance book in a theater, what is going to happen? You're not going to be worried if the theater is suddenly going to increase the price. But the day you walk in over there, the price can change. So that's why what did you do? You prevented a possible future loss, and that's why you did advance booking. In our language, we call it as advance booking. In business language, we call it as forward contracts. So you got forward contracts. Now came the next fellow. See, these are the three types of people that you will have. Okay. Somebody who keeps building. For example, one of the ways that you will hedge your risk is insurance. So you take insurance to hedge your risk. Forward contracts, that's also possible. The second guy will come. The second guy, okay, is another crazy guy. What this guy does is very, very simple. This fellow, he straight away, removes off the fence. And he says, it does not matter. I got 500 cows and 500 sheep. And the chances are there that it can go to the neighboring farmer. But it also opens up an opportunity of the neighbor's cow and the neighbor's sheep coming to my farm. So I can take it. So I can get free mutton and free chicken. I can also get that. This fellow is one called as a speculator. So you got the business of speculation coming in. So you got speculation. So you got speculators. So people play the game, I can speculate. Something will come in, if everything goes out, I lose. If everything comes in, I'll play the game, no problem, I'll take it. Then there's a third fellow who is this fellow is fairly risky, this fellow is huge risk. The third fellow comes. The third fellow, what he does is, he says, hey, not a problem, okay? Not a problem. I got so many cows. Right? What I'm going to do is that I'm going to build a fence. I'll build a fence and then I'll put on gate. In this gate, I'll put one Gurkha. It's one gun. And I'll tell him, listen, don't allow any cow or sheep to go out. But if any cow or sheep wants to come in, open the gate. This is what is called as an option. So you got an option. What's going to happen? It may so happen that no cow or sheep went out from your farm. Or no cow from outside came inside also. That's not a problem. But however, you landed up paying the salary of this fellow. That's what is called as an option premium. You pay this fellow's salary. Now, you can have something called as a put option, or you can have something called as a call option. So, you put inside or you call outside. One of the things can happen. So you got something called as options. So people play the options game. Now what happened? This fellow who played the options game, he put one Gurkha. Then that fellow thought, why should I put one Gurkha? Let me open up more gates. So that fellow opened an automatic gate. Then that fellow opened one infrared gate, one UV gate. Like they opened many gates. And this is what is called as derivatives. So what are derivatives? Derivatives are nothing but as many options you can think of. So, simplified the very fact that there are three kinds of guys playing the game in business. There are somebody who will hedge, somebody who will speculate, somebody who plays the option derivatives. So this gives you a basic understanding of what's going to happen with your foreign exchange. There will be other professors who actually take you into the system of how hedging will happen, how options will happen, the maths of derivatives and all that. They'll freak out. But now you've got a concept understanding of what an hedge is, what a speculation is, and what an option is. This is basically to give you a flair of how a subject will get introduced to, right? And then taken forward from there. Okay. Now, I have bored you guys here for about at least an hour or so. Okay. Speculation. Can you explain it above? Once again. Well, Rajan, if I'm right, I got the name right. Yeah, Raj. Okay. Speculation is wherein, right? I am not having any fence. I'm not putting anything. I don't know, right? How many of my cattle are going to go out? I don't know. I I don't know how many of my neighbor's cattle is going to come in. So I'm just playing the game, saying that my neighbor's cattle is gone, they're gone mad, they're all going to come into my farm, I'm going to take all of them. I'm just playing that game. I win, I can. So that's what you're doing. A lot of people in the stock markets, what are they doing? Right? A lot of people in the stock markets are basically speculating which stock is going to go up, which stock is going to come down. So shall I buy, shall I sell? So they're playing the speculative game. Then there are fellows who sit tight and say, listen, I'm not going to buy anything, I'm not going to sell anything, I'm going to sit. Hi. I hope I clarified your question, Raj. Yes? Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Now, okay, fine. Hedging. Hedging means to create a fence. Hedge means fence. You create a fence. You create some kind of a barrier for yourself. You ensure that nobody goes out of that barrier. So that's what is the concept over here that I gave you the example of cows. Saying that if I put a fence, the cows won't go out. So similarly, if I book in advance, right, I don't have a problem of price going up or price coming down. So I got advance booking. That's why we go on, right, and say that I want to book an advance ticket, advance booking for a film show, advance booking for the airline, right? But please note, in the case of the railways, right, advance booking is not possible in the railways. Do you know that the moment you buy a railway ticket, okay, the day you go to the railways and you're going on that day, whatever is the price on that day is what you will pay. You could have bought a ticket for 100 rupees to go from Bangalore, let's say, 550 rupees on, Shatabdi going from Bangalore to Chennai. The day you go there, suppose the railways increase the price to 650 rupees, you will have to pay the differential fare. You cannot tell the railway saying, "Arey, main usi din kharid liya ticket, main aaj nahi dene wala hu." Not possible. Please pay. So there is no possible way of hedging insofar as the railway ticket is concerned. You have to pay market prices. So are we understanding the concept of what a hedge is, right? Okay. Right. Now, well, you're going into, right? Shishir, I'm not going to go into that subject to domestic currency and so on. It's going to be an economics class, right? Okay. Now, Vedant, which is the highest risk? It depends upon what's your risk appetite. Okay. So, whom are you prepared to play? Right? Are you going to play a speculator? Are you going to play somebody who's going to hedge it? Or are you going to play an options game? Now, that's fine. So it depends upon who each person is. So based upon the kind of a person. Okay. Krishna, I didn't understand your question of arbitration. There's no idea. What are we talking about? Okay, put and call. Put is basically to sell and call is to buy. Absolutely right. Your understanding is right, Raj. The speculation is got the highest, right? Okay. Arbitrage does exist in real life. Arbitrage, Gaurav Agarwal, you must remember that arbitrage does exist in real life. The best example of arbitrage existing in real life, okay? I hope you have a car or you have a bike. And let's look at, renewing your insurance premium for that bike or a car, okay? Agarwal, I'm answering your question, Gaurav. You know that there are going to be some 5-6 guys, insurance company guys coming and saying, please take insurance from me. And he will offer you a different price. For the same bike, for the same value of the bike, there are different insurance premiums that are going to be charged by different people. So what do you choose? You choose the best, which you think is going to cover you and at the same time cheapest. That's precisely what arbitrage is all about. I hope to have answered your question, right? Okay. Yes? Okay. Now, you guys will have 1,001 questions. It's never going to end. Okay? So the best way out of this is, I'll take questions now, but then you're most welcome to ask me any number of questions whenever you have, right? And whenever you want to come back. Okay. What you can do Yes. You're most welcome to write an email to me, right? I am not giving you my mobile number because I will end up getting good morning messages which I can't handle. Right? I'm very tough. Last year I gave it and I made the mistake of my life. Yeah. So you guys can always shoot in a mail to me, right? And it would be an absolute pleasure for me to answer you, right? To, tell you where to be, maybe, chat up with you and enjoy the learning process. Today happens to be Dashara, right? Okay. So this is to wish all you people all the very, very best in your lives. God bless you with absolute prosperity, good health, and happiness. Thank you very, very much for being very patient with me for the last 60 minutes. I'm open to any questions now.
Guys, you can raise hands and we can unmute you so that you can ask questions.
Yep.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sir, thank you so much for this wonderful session, first of all. Sir, my question is, in the various scenarios that you showed us, does the leadership style affect the decisions made?
Yes, it does. Please look at it based upon the knowledge that you're having with you, based upon the information that you're having with you, your leadership style will automatically change. Yes, because when you come out of B school, right, the knowledge and the information that you are having with you is substantially larger than probably what your CEO or your CFO could be having. Maybe. Now, how well is he going to take that information from you? How well is he going to digest that information is a very, very critical aspect. So he is going to definitely look at that, and the kind of information you are going to have with you is definitely going to look at the leadership style.
Hello and good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Raj here. So, sir, my question is that, as you initially explained with the correlation between the stumps and the entire business theory, sir,
Yeah.
it seemed that the entire business theory which you had explained is kind of related towards the macroeconomics domain, like multilateral business. So,
Yes.
what in case of domestic business, how to operate in that case?
Exactly. The game of cricket is played both domestic and international, Raj.
Sir,
So at the
in case of
macroeconomic level, you are going to look at your business. At the micro level, that is your level of the business, I gave you something as risk perception.
yes, sir.
That's what you're going to do. So
Okay,
at an individual level, you're going to be looking at risk perception. At a larger picture, you're going to be looking at the game.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, sir. This is Shishir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir. My question is that you said that the bat is knowledge. So, sir, my question is that in present scenario in India, the toxicity of political condition is very much high. So, how this knowledge would be practical in this toxic political environment?
Well, amidst all the general subject knowledge, okay, somewhere you will also gain political knowledge. You will apply that political knowledge to go through the political, maze. So please remember this. I am just not only teaching you only subjects. I can also teach you politics. So there are subjects related to politics that you will learn in the business school. Don't worry about that. You can ask some of your friends saying that politics mujhe sikhana thoda. He will teach you how to play the game.
Yes.
It is very much there, sir. It is very much there.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Hello, sir. Vinyas here.
Yes.
My question is regarding ethics. So in the game of cricket that you explained, if you paid the umpire or you paid the organizers, you paid them to increase the size of the crease or whatever.
Okay.
What role do you think that ethics plays? Because laws can't cover everything. That is a flop law itself. So
you please tell me what's going to done if you scam the system, okay? Let's say you scam the system, and then you come up with something like a Duckworth Lewis, right? Your DRS that happens. You scam it. Does not matter. But what is going to effectively, happen? One thing, please remember: you are going to win temporarily. Your win is going to be a short-term gain, but in the long term, you will lose out. You will not exist in the long term. People who look at shortcuts in business are somebody who does not have a long-term perspective of business. And that is precisely where ethics and morals and values come into play. So in B school and in various other places, even at home, when you're being taught, high school, everywhere we say you should have some values, you should have some beliefs, ethics, morals, all this. Fundamentally, it simply means that the more ethical you are, the more value driven you are, the longer your business will exist. You can scam the system. Absolutely not a problem. Nothing wrong with that. But trust me, you're not going to live long. Choice is yours.
Good evening, sir. This is Harak here.
Yes, ma'am.
I just had a question, sir, that no matter how much we learn or how careful we are and how many precautions we take, is there always going to be something which is out of our hands when it comes to business?
Let's get one thing very, very clear, right? It's impossible for you to know everything. Okay? Now, however, whatever little I know, can I apply that is rule number 1. So whatever little knowledge you've gained, can you apply that? Rule number 2, wherever you don't have the knowledge, are you prepared to buy that knowledge? Are you prepared to get somebody who can apply that knowledge? Do you have the humility to get that thing? So that is the second most important thing, right? Because we genuinely have no idea what's going to come up. Did anybody expect COVID to come? Nobody expected it to come. It just went topsy-turvy everywhere, right? All of us are so confused in life. But in this confusion, all of us have come out actually as great winners because we've got more clarity in our thoughts. Before this, we genuinely didn't have. But that has made it so there is always a positive side to a lot of unknowns. And I want you to appreciate the positive side of the unknown rather than fearing the unknown. I hope to have sensitized you on your question.
Yes, sir.
I have not given you an answer.
Yes, but sir, I understood. Like, basically, you can say that there's always an opportunity in every situation. So it's best to look out for that. An opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, either way.
See, one thing I want you to just remember, right, is that I want you to absorb concepts. I want you to be aware about where to find what. See, one of the fundamental rules of business school, right, is to help you to search in the right places. I never said you will get the answer. I only told you that I will teach you where to search. You go search there, you will get the answer. So I'm going to open up avenues and I'm going to open up so many things for you such that you know where to go and look for answers. So open up that book, go and speak to that particular person, refer to this, right, consult that person, do whatever, but at least you know where to go. And that's what I do over here. We teach you so many things. You might ask one question, maybe, saying, how do you guys cram so much, right? In B school, lots of people will be telling you, we just don't have any time for ourselves. We sleep at 3 in the morning, wake up at 6 in the morning, attend class at 8 in the morning. All this gyan is fine, right? All of these guys are cramming is simply trying to, ensure that they're able to remember where to find what. It is more like, trying to make you Google. Google never gives you the right answer, but it at least tell you where it is. Right? You choose.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you partly answered my question, but I'm hoping for more here because when you mentioned that these schools are here to manage it, to teach us how to manage risk, and I'm sure most of us are going to join the B schools in the upcoming years. I
Yes.
wanted to ask, how can we make sure that we get to learn the best practices and absorb the best what these schools have to offer? What are the practices that we should keep in mind, that we should adopt?
Okay. The first practice that you need to keep in mind is very, very simple. Chill. Relax. Beyond this, there's nothing more that you can actually think of. You know, there's nothing overpowering over here in these schools. Just be awake to absorbing as many things that come your way. You need to bask in the fun. You need to bask in all the joy that you are, having around the games that you play, right? The business summits that you attend, the cramming that you do, the exams that you need to give. All these are fine. But at the same time, you need to chill. So relax. Absorb whatever comes your way. And trust me, it all goes upon how much you can absorb. That's all that is there. So don't say, sir, he absorbed more than I can absorb. That doesn't matter. But at least you know where to find what. That's all. So take that. And just to give you the philosophy of this thing is understand concept, period. Every single subject is, as long as you're able to remember the concept, because please trust me, if you remember the concept, you will never forget the subject. This is like cycling. No, when you are a child, you learn cycling. You know the concept of cycling. You're not going to forget cycling. Swimming, you're not going to forget swimming. You might not have cycled, you might not have swam in the last 20 years. Doesn't matter. But still, if I throw you in water, you will swim. That's precisely what I want you to learn. So that's what is going to happen in B school.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
I guess we are running out of time. It's almost 18 minutes more than.
That's what I said. I never end off, right? So I leave it to Zashi. You're the moderator, so please let me know when to take it.
Yeah, I mean, can we take one more question, sir, and end with that?
Yes, please.
If anyone is
Yes,
having.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session.
You're welcome,
And
sir.
sir, my question was that you said profit is not equal to price minus cost. And we all know profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. So, sir, I wanted to know the difference between cost price and cost itself.
Okay. See, the word cost is the sum total of the expenses. Okay. There are some notional expenses. You might want to add them. That would be the price. See, remember the word price. The word price is basically what is it that you are willing to pay. So when I use the word cost price, okay, I'm basically saying what are the actual physical costs and then what are the indirects that I'm going to add on to that. So that is what will make it cost of goods sold, COGS. Yeah. I mean, this is a little technical answer. Pardon me for that, right? Because I'm not able to quickly think of an answer that will remain in your head. But it simply means that price is one of the expenses insofar as related to cost. Is things that are not directly attributable to the cost. And cost is all the direct expenses. That's my answer to you.
Thank you, sir. I think in the interest of time.
Yes. I am not able to suggest any book over here. All right. Okay. So there is a question that says that you suggest any book. Well, there are no books. Pick up and read whatever comes to your way. As simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, the YLS delegates thoroughly enjoyed the session, sir. We could see in the comments.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very, very
Kesar,
much.
sir, I will leave it to Kesar for the vote of thanks. Kesar.
Yes, yes, Keshav.
So, thank you, sir, for the session. This has been really informative, and actually, we, after learning, having 20 classes with you, actually still learned some more things in a more simplified way. So I hope the delegates take away almost all of it. And one thing I'm just ask the queries that like, can we get the slides from you so
Yeah.
people could actually carry the
Yes.
analogy with them?
Yeah, but this is
Sure, sir.
somebody from here will upload the slides and you can share it with everybody on the system. I have absolutely see everything. Guys, please remember, whenever I teach, all my material is copyrighted. Okay, it means you have a right to copy. So take it and have a nice time. Absolutely not a problem.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, as a token of thanks, Shreya from our team would like to present you a
Small
memento.
memento. Yeah.
Thank you
Shreya
so
and
much.
Ashwini.
Thank you very, very much for this. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for listening to me over the last 65 minutes, 75 minutes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So anyone, if you have any questions, queries, sir is extremely reachable on his mail, and he replies very promptly. So you can definitely reach out to him. Thank you again, sir, for taking time out on a Monday evening. This is
Absolutely
quite an
not a
odd
problem.
time for even
Any day,
to ask you.
anytime for you guys. Thank you. All right. So can we log off?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you so much.
sir. So, yeah.